Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. What we're going to be doing today is looking at different relationships that are happening in mostly the upper body. So let's just look at Ken here. So we've got Ken sitting on my lap. And what we're going to be looking at is a relationship with, as we move the arm, what happens with the shoulder blades. We've got the shoulder blades here. On Ken, they're actually bolted down, so we're not going to see a lot of movement. But we'll just see the relationship of when we lift the arm, at what point we're going to have to sort of allow or perhaps just notice if there is much movement in the shoulder blade, whether it's moving, this triangle part is moving out to the side, if it's moving towards the front a little bit, or if it's moving back, or if it's shrugging up. So we'll just really evaluate and stay quite curious with the movement of the shoulder blade in relation to the humerus or through the rest of the arm. A little bit of the collarbone here, the clavicle, and then how that all moves around the ribs. So this is a relationship of the shoulder girdle, and we need to sort of visualize, or for example, for me, it really helps me to visualize how that's moving in relation to the ribs, because the ribs play a part in this. Now, what's going to be attached to the ribs, we're looking at the thoracic spine. So the vertebrae up here in the upper part of the back, and specifically between the shoulder blades and up in towards the neck. And some of the ways that we're going to be moving is we're going to see how, like, naturally these vertebrae are often more of a curve, like a slightly more convex curve in the thoracic spine. I mean, there are many reasons for that, but we can go into that another day. But generally that's going to be the shaping of the actual vertebrae and how they relate to each other. But we can have some movement that takes it out of being super kyphotic or super rounded in a strong way, like all of our work that we do often, if it's at a desk, or for me, sometimes when I'm cutting hair, it's kind of forward centric. So that can create that kind of rounding and the shoulder blades come forward. So how do we have a different range of movement in the upper back, a little bit more of a back bend-ish look or feel? And how that relates with the shoulder blades in relation to that spine. So let me just put Ken off to the side, and then we'll just sit comfortably for just a couple moments. Let's just have our hands in a comfortable position, palms face down or face up, and notice your breathing. Okay, slowly open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Let's build an awareness to the side ribs under the armpit. If you're able to, take the backs of your fingers and lean them into the sides of the ribs, not into the armpits, but just a little bit down, coming into a sensation that has some pressure, but you're not pushing too hard. But you feel the feedback of the backs of the hands as it relates into the ribs. So now let's see if we can feel breathing and notice the sensation as it relates to the feedback to the hands. So just eyes open or closed, breathing and feeling the backs of the finger awareness as you breathe in and as you breathe out. As the awareness starts to build in this region that is sometimes a bit mute to us, let's see if we can on purpose feel a leaning in this side line into the fingers. So feel the ribs expand when you inhale And then feel it kind of settle together as you exhale. Continue this. Inhaling wide and exhaling in. Release the hands and just notice what breathing feels like now. And you naturally just access that widening of the side ribs, the side lungs when you're breathing. Does it build a bit more of an awareness into the armpits? See if that's true. Okay, open the eyes if they're closed. Have your hands or your arms quite relaxed and a little bit heavy. Maybe they're at your sides, and just gently roll the arms around so you feel like it's a shoulder roll. So, those parts that we looked at on Ken, my skeleton, you saw that there was the humerus in relation with the collarbone and with the shoulder blade, and then how those move around the ribs. So, let's just picture those in the mind's eye, or maybe you have a different way that you sense that relationship or that knowledge. And there is no right or wrong in this particular way, that we're just rolling the shoulders, getting to know this place. When you're ready, you'll reverse the direction. Okay, one more. Rolling back and down. Just pause. Feeling again wide quality of side rib breathing and something waking up maybe around what we might call the shoulders. And open your eyes. Unfurl or release your legs from how you're sitting. Let's move our support off to the side. What I'm really wanting to build as a concept for this particular class is that we'll do a series of relationship awareness moves, and that you can do them all together and see what happens. How does it feel in your body? How does it feel in your arms and your shoulders and your ribs? That you can do them as individuals as well. So just feel that if you're going through what we're doing today and it's getting a bit much, just come back and do some of the other ones as if it suits. Okay, so standing up to a wall, I'm going to stand with my hips basically coming perpendicular to the wall or at a right angle, and I'm bringing my right arm back. I'm thinking that it's going to be about horizontal to the ground, and it's comfortable. So I haven't put my arm so far back that I'm feeling a real pull at the front part here of my chest, but I've got it at a comfortable position. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to move my torso a little bit over to the left, and then I'm going to use my hand on the wall to pull my torso back beyond perpendicular to the wall. And then I'm going to use my torso, and I'm letting my hips come along with me, coming beyond perpendicular to the wall, using my hand to push me back. And just keep doing this, feeling it get to just a point where you might feel a little bit of nerve tensioning. Use your hand to pull you back. So we're getting to the yellow light place, not coming to a red light place. You open, and the hand pulls you back. So there's a bit of strength, just a little bit of strength in that. Now, when we come turning the torso back, feel if you can gather your shoulder blade towards the spine more to make this happen. And imagine something might soften in the front, and then use your hand to pull you back. And then you turn, and then your shoulder blade snugs into the spine back there. And your hand pulls you back. And again, coming around. And two more. And then the last. Turning, and the hand pulls you back. Let's move that hand a little bit higher up now. Just adjust yourself accordingly. It's a different position, so you might have a different sensation. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull ourselves over to the left to some degree. The hand pulls us back, curving around, hand pulls, curving around, and pulls. Curving around, and the muscles in the hands turns us back. So you feel like a gathering in the front of the arm that pulls us back. Now, when you come back here, feel the shoulder blades snug into the spine a little bit. It's a bit of a different position. So see what that feels like. And pulls you back. Do that 4 more times. Okay. And come in and then come down. And then just feel what that arm feels like. And notice just what does that feel like in relation to the opposite arm? Is it the same or are there differences? Okay, let's do this on the other side. So now I have my left hand here, and you can see that I'm trying to imagine that it's going to be parallel to the ground. My hips come possibly, depends on what's going on in your shoulder. So it's going to be at this right angle to the wall, and then I let my torso turn around and pulls me back. Turn around and pulls me back. And again. And what I noticed just now is that my shoulder, to make that happen on this side, it wanted to go up. So that's like a compensation. So we're looking for those kinds of things. And so what it means for me is that I need to not go so far. I have a different range on this side. Okay. And now start the really feeling that the shoulder blade snugs into the spine to make a little bit more room at the front. And then that front gathers to turn you around. And do that 4 more times. And around. Good. Take the hand a little higher up, and we'll find that. Going back and pulls you back. Going away towards the right. Again, I went a little far, so I have to really adjust that inner knowing. And then you start to feel the shoulder blades snug into the spine and come around. Make that your awareness. And 4 more times. Okay, good. And then come down with the hands if that feels balanced, and just notice, what does the energy feel like in all of your arms, all the way to the hands. And the noticing doesn't mean that you've had improvement, that it's better or that it's not better. So it's just really like knowing yourself. Okay, let's take the back of the hand now to the wall. And so the relationship isn't quite so, because it's harder to turn. So I'm already turning at more of a 45-degree angle to the wall, and my back of my right hand is here. And then I'm just going to push the wall with the back of my hand to move my torso away. And then I kind of gather, come in, push. And then as I gather in here to come a little bit towards, I feel kind of like a retraction and kind of an ease. And then, because that's sort of my natural state. And then as I push back, there's a little bit of strength, but not a yellow light, nothing that feels painful. And I start to feel a bit of the gathering of my shoulder blade in towards the thoracic spine. If you can't feel it, just imagine it. And then one more. And a little strength to pull you back. And then release. Wonder about what's woken up now. And we'll do this on the other side. So the back of the left hand, the hand is at horizontal. It's going to be different to see me at this angle. I'm 45-ish to the wall, and then just push the back of my hand to turn my torso to the right. Come back in, pushing and back in. And do 3 more of those as you start to feel your shoulder blades snug in towards the spine to create a little bit more. And there we go. Finish on that. Come back and then relax and just feel, what does that feel like now? Now, if that feels like that's enough, you can just lay down and have a moment of assessment and kind of nurturing to the arm. So don't overdo these things, especially if you've got an injury. So always work to just where your body feels comfortable. But if you'd like, you can come on to trying a few more things at the wall. So I'm going to be coming to the wall with my hands and my feet. For me, for my height, it feels right to stand with my toes about a foot and maybe a half away from the wall, and my arms up a comfortable distance. My body's got a bit of a slant here, and I'm going to have my hands at the wall feeling a drag. They're going to stay there feeling like sticky hands as I just sit my hips down. And I still continue to feel a bit of a drag as my armpits kind of come forward and up. Or I'll feel that my humerus bones have moved and my shoulder blades maybe have flared a little bit wide and then come forward and then come up. And then we'll do that again. So sticky hands on the wall. Start with them at like a comfortable kind of ease, your shoulders, so they're not already up to your ears. And then as you come down, you just feel a little bit of a doming or widening at the side ribs, doming in the armpits, and you're coming down, possibly armpits feel like they're coming forward and up towards your hands. And just check to see that we haven't come into a big back bend of the thoracic or we're not super tucked in. It's kind of like what I would call natural fall. And then slowly use your feet to come up. Now let's come down again, but not go so far down. What we're going to be doing now is looking for room that we'll take one elbow closer to the wall and then the other elbow closer to the wall, like this. All right, so there's going to be this movement of the shoulder blade. It's going to be coming forward. So you can feel that this armpit might come forward, or that's what it feels like for me. My collarbone has movement. So just understanding that there's movement that's happening in all kinds of places as it relates to the ribs. So I come back into my position at the wall and I come down to not its full extension, just kind of a part way down, and then just feel my left elbow go towards the wall and back. Right one towards the wall and back. Left and back, right and back, left and back, right and back. One more left and back and right and back. And then stand. And what does that feel like? Okay, good. So let's move into a few more movements. This next series is going to be moving the arms. And when we move the arms, we're going to imagine not initiating it with our elbows or with our hands or with our wrists. So we're going to be imagining initiating the movement all up here with the top of the humerus, possibly some muscles that are going to be pulling the humerus forward to the front of the chest, or some muscles are going to be pulling it back, the shoulder blade back in towards the spine or down or up. Like we'll have these different relationships of movement that will happen more at the source or higher up the chain. So let's just see about this. What I find is very useful is to stabilize by having my knees bent And just sort of a pause, like I'm sitting on a stool, and then just let the arms come down, and then just slowly feel the arm bones rotating forward and back. Really small movements forward and back. So, not so much of a shoulder blade involved, not so much of a movement of the collarbone. And then start to, when you roll back, feel that the shoulder blades are drawing back in towards the spine, and that's helping to rotate this arm bone a bit back. And then feel them coming forward, and then going back, and then coming forward, and then going back. And then the next time it comes forward, tension through the fronts of your, the backs of your wrists, I guess we'll call that, pulling the fingers up, and then roll them back, and then pull the fingers back. Relax them, roll forward, tension through the back of the wrists. Come around, turn the shoulder blades back, pull the fingers back so the fronts of the wrists get attention. And then bring the fingertips up towards the shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, squeeze the shoulder blades forward, squeeze the shoulder blades back, pulling the fingers back if you're able, forward and squeeze, and then forward and go up. Come down and squeeze. Now we're going to twist to the right. So I'm twisting to the right. My elbows are still bent until I'm at a place where I can feel like my hips feel like they're stable. And then spread the fingers. Take this front, that's my left. Take the shoulder blades forward more. Take the back shoulder blades back more. And then twist at the waist a little bit more. Come around with that right arm. Squeeze. Twist to the left. Spread the fingers and the arms. Front shoulder blade goes forward in that protraction. The back shoulder blade comes back in retraction, pulling out through the arms and then twisting a little bit more with the waist. Coming around, squeeze back, armpits forward, up, come back, squeeze back a little bit. Up with the left, down with the right. Shift your weight to your left foot, spreading so you're feeling this left armpit's a bit forward and up, and anchoring down with this right armpit towards the right hip. And the right ribs and the hips kind of gather. And feel this extra length on the left. Keep the length, bring the right arm up, squeeze down. Come back with the shoulder blades. Up with the right, down with the left, spread, shift the weight to the right leg. Feel that extra length on this right side, and this extra downness on the left. The gathering of the hip to the ribs, and the armpit gathering down. Up with the left, squeeze, armpits forward and up, into heart, straighten the legs, hands at heart, and just pause. Sometimes it's very, very active at a lymphatic cleanse doing that little routine. So let's just pause and feel the effects. Hands at the heart or maybe at your sides. All right, drop your arms if they're not already, and let's just roll the shoulders. See that we haven't created tension. Sometimes when we do that, if we're not lifting with the muscles more around the armpits and the side ribs to do the arm lift, sometimes we lift it from up here and we can create some tension. So let's just see that we can loosen and soften through that. And then the other way with the rolling. Okay, good. Pause. If you have a dowel, let's get a dowel. So this is just a 2 feet long dowel. It's an inch and a quarter in diameter. Doesn't really matter what you've got. You can use a belt as well. What I like to do is do this standing. We do them a lot while we're seated, or while we're seated, or while we're reclined on the ground. And when we do that on that, we get the real feedback from the ground to see where we are with our arm movements, how it relates to um, kind of a balance in the ground. So this is a little bit different doing it in space. So you have to really use your curiosity to see if we've got the compensations that are happening in the way that we lift. So let's hold it so that the palms are facing down. Kind of have your hands around your your shoulder distance apart. I like to bend my knees. It stabilizes my pelvis to some degree. So I'm relaxed through the sides of my neck and just start to lift the arms. And there'll be a point where my arms will feel maybe less secure, or there'll be a place where maybe I've stopped breathing, or a place where my front ribs will start to lift or pop up. Or there'll be a place where my arms will change shape to allow this to happen. And then we'll come down. So you want to stop before all those little compensations. Let's turn now so that the palms are facing up, so kind of an anatomical position for the hands. And it's a little bit of a different shaping in here, so really go slowly with this. And just see that you haven't locked your elbows or done some compensations before you've even lifted. Okay, just slowly lifting. Notice the ribs, notice your jaw, notice the sides of your neck. Notice if your arms are doing, if they're tensing in certain places, you might need to stop or just pause and down. All right. So when we do this one, let's do this one again. And this time, when we get to that place where there is a something, sort of a reason to stop. Let's get there and see if we can talk to that place before the arms get there and kind of just ask our bodies, like, um, does it need to be weaker, or does it need to jiggle, or can I have more awareness in it? Just see if you can do that, or can I maybe soften if there's some pain or discomfort that's about to happen. So just see before you get that, like it's mapping out that. That's what we'll call this. We'll call it like mapping. And so you come into your sort of seated position again and lift and just know, okay, where is that place? Will I be able to soften through it? And if you get to that place and it doesn't, let's just kind of do a very, very slow motion, almost like a bouncing, and then a side to side, and maybe little figure eights. And this will help to create kind of some confusion from the pattern that says, I go here and I have pain or disconnect. Come back into stillness and just see what it feels like to go up a little bit. And then we'll come down. Okay, good. Let's take it behind us. So the palms face away, about hip shoulder distance apart again here with the hands. Come into your little seat and let's just move the arms back. Now already I felt some jiggles. So soften and then go again. Where does it want to go? Now you'll feel the top of your humerus coming forward. Like there's some movement here of the arm. So allow that to come forward or allow it to have some space. Your shoulder blade's going to be doing a move. Your collarbone's coming forward with that movement. So something is happening in that movement. And know that there are other things involved in that movement. Come back down. Let's shift it now. So we're in anatomical position. So it means the palms are facing in front of us, even though the hands are behind the back. And we'll lift it like this now. Just a few times. Next time you get to this place, pause and see if something else can bring some other connection at the front of the arm here, some other connection at the side ribs stabilizing. Can something else bring the arm just a smidge higher with no pain? Okay, come back down. We can remove the dowel to the side. We're going to come down into a lunge because one of the things that really affects the movement of our shoulders is um, the relationship of the muscles that are holding the shoulder blade right here at the side ribs that sometimes kind of grip it all the way to the hip. So let's have a look at this one. We're going to come into just an easy-ish lunge if this is okay for your knees. We're going to come into this. And so I have my right knee as my down knee, and that's the arm I'm going to bring up. This left hand can come onto this side or it can drape down at the side and really feel. I don't know what you're going to feel, but for me, I'm feeling it quite far down on my hip, to my waist, through my ribs, all the way to my shoulder blade. Coming up, let's change the knee. So now it's going to be your left knee down and your right foot forward. So it's now going to be your left arm that's going to come up and support it on the thigh or just at your side if you feel stable. The hip, the waist, the ribs to the shoulder blade. And inhale coming up. Okay, you can do more of those. Those I find really, really helpful. So when we come down, we're going to be doing three things while we're down, or four things while we're down. Have some tennis balls. These ones are lacrosse balls. They're a little bit more firm, so you can decide to get whatever kind of feedback or sensation that your body can, take without tensing too much. So I've got my lacrosse balls because I'm used to those. Also, I have my spinal strip, and we're going to make that into a hand fold, which is like the hand plus 1 inch, and that's going to come to the space of the thoracic between the shoulder blades. So that's going to be that. And let's come down. Make sure you have some room beside you because we're going to have, first off, the arms out to the sides. You can't see my other hand very well from this angle, but just know that I'm imagining taking them at a T section here. Pause and just feel yourself in the downness. Notice the sensation of the relationship of both sides of the pelvis and the center. Notice both of your shoulder blades. How do your arms align onto the ground without judgment, just a noticing? Seeing how your body comes to ease and kindness. Feeling it from the inside out. We're going to be moving into what I'll call a nerve tensioning sequence with our arms. The arms are going to stay out to the side, but one palm is going to face down as one palm faces up. And when we do this, we'll feel it all the way out to our very, very spread fingers, spread and lengthen through the arm. There's a slight downness of the back of the neck, and the space between the shoulder blades will bring those down. The shoulders, the arms, the blades, everything is going to feel like it's going wide as the spine at the thoracic and the neck are going to come down. Okay, so feel the downness first, and then bring the arms so that they're just off the ground, that they can not hit the floor when they turn. Let's start with the right palm facing up and the left down, spreading out through the fingers, and continue to spread out through the fingers and lean the neck down unless there's some pain or stress or tension. And then slowly keeping the fingers spread, roll. So now the right palm faces down, left faces up. Keep spreading and leaning and lengthening, and just twist slowly and slowly. So this might feel a little bit like a flossing of the nerves. And we don't want it to cause pain. Keep curious and keep spreading if you can. And now let's add the head. So now I'm about to turn my right palm to face down, and I'm turning my head to face the left. Now my left palm's going to turn to face down, turning my head to the right. So the palm turning is synchronized with your head turning. So and keeping the neck leaning down, or the back of the head, as you continue to kind of floss through the joints and through the neck. Back into the center. Release the hands maybe to the belly and pause and just feel the relationship uh, of the tissues in around the shape of the arms. Notice your breathing. Okay, so let's see if we can isolate moving the thoracic spine. We'll see if we're able to make it feel like it's coming off the ground, or perhaps it can come off the ground. And so we will on purpose have the lumbar a bit down, and you can lean your shoulder blades down, and the thoracic lifts up to the sky. And then come down, relax the spine, and then lean the lumbar down just so that we can isolate, leaning up to the sky with the chest. The shoulder blades can come down, but they can also be up. It's like it's not reliant on the shoulder blades to be the lifter. It's the spine itself. We're imagining isolating the thoracic spine, curving convexly, I mean concavely, and then come down. Pause. And let's do that one more time. So lumbar down, feel the chest rise, find room for breath, and then come down. All right, so let's just see what happens now if we take our balls, and we're going to put them on either side of the spine. So if we've got the spine, we're going to have a ball on one side and the other, and the shoulder blades are going to be beside. So it's between shoulder blades. It's not on a bone. We're not putting these on bones, and we'll have about 4 positions-ish that we'll find them in. The first position is going to be just slightly above the shoulder blades, and then the next three will be right between the shoulder blades and the spine in those positions. So move yourself away from the wall, because we'll move through some arm positions as we do this. Just some really simple arm positions that might address some fascia sensation or tightness or dryness. We don't know the reason why, but we might have some sensations in here. Now, when I come up into this, I will actually come up into a low hanging bridge. That means that my sit bones and the backs of my thighs kind of gather to lift, and I will have that as a position. It creates more weight on the spots. So that might be very, very strong, and just even having the balls there will be enough. So you will decide. Okay, putting it into the first position. So I just reach them back here. So it's really close to the muscles here at the very top. If you can feel that the ball is pushing the muscles right beside my neck a bit forward. So that's going to be our first position. I'm coming up into my bridge, bringing the fingertips to the ceiling, letting my shoulder blades drape, and then If it works for you, let's move the arms out wide to the side, come back up, overhead, come back up and down parallel to your body, and then move to the next position. So now it's going to be more beside the shoulder blades. And bring the fingertips up, draping the shoulder blades ish, arms overhead. And you can even reach the fingertips, move the arms, come back to neutral, come up, go down to your sides, pull down towards your heels or your feet, neutral, come up and out to the sides and a little bit of a lengthen. Come up and cross the arms, up, cross the arms, up and down. Move to the third position. So you're moving yourself towards, for me, it's this wall, coming up into my bridge because that suits. Arms overhead, reaching with the arms, neutral, up, down towards the feet, lengthen down, neutral, come up, out to the sides, up, crossing, and up, and crossing, and up, and hips down. Move to the last position. So it's a little closer to the lower part of your shoulder blades, what you can imagine that might be. Fingertips to ceiling, go up overhead, lengthen, up, down, lengthen, up to the ceiling, out to the sides. Come up, drape the arms across if you can. Come up, drape them again the other way. Come up and down. And let's remove those balls. I like to glide all the way back up to the first position and then come down. So, what are you going to notice about breathing? What are you going to notice about the sensation in the back? For me, I notice something shifts when I do this up here. My pelvis will sit differently on the ground. So, see what happens to your body when you do the movements up here with the ball stimulus. Okay, if that feels like a good amount of noticing, just bring the knees in towards the chest. Maybe a nice, easy rocking from side to side. And then take your strip and come on up. So we've done movements against the wall where we used a gathering of the shoulder blade to pull back towards the spine. And then we used our hand to kind of strongly feel these muscles engage, and or possibly those, or maybe we stabilized when we did that. So we did that movement, then we did it higher up, then we also did dragging down to feel some movement of the armpits coming forward and up as we moved down into that position. And then we also did the movements where we isolated one shoulder blade moving forward at a time. We also did some shoulder rolling. We also did some kind of functional synergy movements where we rolled around the arms and the shoulder blades in different positions and related them to movements in towards the spine as well. And, then we've also done some nerve tensioning where we're laying on the ground, and now we've done some ball stimulus. So we really get a chance to feel that can be kind of strong. And now we're going to do this with the hand fold. So when I take my strip down like this, my head's going to go on this part of the strip, and this part right here is going to be between my shoulder blades. So this is going to be a little bit more passive, and you'll have to just check to see once you get here, does it suit you to be here? Do you know, Does your body, after all of what we've done, does it relax around this? If there's some tension in your head and your neck, you might need to elevate your seat to some degree. But what we're looking for is this is potentially creating this back bend for the thoracic spine. So let's just stay here. What does breathing feel like now? So you can continue to stay like this with it being a passive sensation, possibly, if it does feel passive for you. Also, you could come up into a nice, easy bridge where the thoracic spine has more feedback by the elevation of the hips. If you're up in a bridge, let's come down slowly. Pause. Roll over to the side so you can remove the strip, and let's come down and just feel the effects of all the things we've done, keeping your knees bent like this or straightening them out, and having your moment of assessment of how you feel in the mind and the body, quality of your breathing. You can stay on your backs as long as you need to. I hope your shoulders feel awake and I hope they feel lovely, or at the very least, you've learned something new about how your shoulders like to move. Namaste.